Hello everyone, welcome to Joe Consume Cinema. I'm your host. They mostly come at night. Mostly. And today we have another installment in the Joe Revisit series with the revisit to the 1979 film Alien. Now this is one of the most, beloved sci-fi classics of all time. You've got Ridley Scott, Sigourney Weaver, her breakout role in this. She became an icon after this film, but so much of this movie is just, burned into, the cerebral cortex of America just because it's got so many great scenes and so many memorable moments and just this idea. I love the fact that, the alien in this is alien, which I increasingly think is like a lost concept for people that, far too often when you see an alien in a movie or in television, it's really just a human with some, stuff glued onto its face. But yeah, this is just a fantastic sci-fi, one of the best that's ever been created easily. It's not my favorite, by the way. My favorite is actually still John Carpenter's The Thing. Check out that video if you haven't seen it on my channel. But yeah, this one is just one of those ones that, changed an entire generation in how they view films and sci-fi just because of how well this movie was done. Ridley Scott's made a ton of great films in his time. Obviously Alien, but also, Gladiator and Blade Runner. Ooh, I love Blade Runner. That's a fantastic film. He's done such great work over the years that, his skill as a filmmaker is undeniable at this point. But yeah, I don't want to rehash the movie too much because this is one that I've seen a bunch of times and I decided to revisit it just because, I just got done revisiting The Thing and it was a smashing success on my channel. So yeah, I just thought, hey, if people like that, they're probably going to like this. So yeah, it's just kind of a nice excuse to rewatch this one. It's a great film if you haven't seen it. But last thing I just want to say, just before we get started, if you are at all interested in the Alien universe and, these movies, then you need to do yourself a big favor and go to YouTube and type in Alien Theory. Now, this guy has been running this channel for years now, and he is, the most ardent fanatic of this universe that I have ever seen, and his content that he creates is amazing. So he goes over all the movies. Goes over like all the behind the scenes stuff, all the interviews, everything. But he also narrates the comic books, which I have never read until I saw his channel. But it's just these great little self-contained stories within the Alien universe that he narrates, and he has a perfect voice for it. But yeah, if you have not seen that channel or heard of it before, go to YouTube, type in Alien Theory, and subscribe to it. If you like even just a little bit this universe and the ideas expressed in it, you will love that channel. It's amazing. I'll probably gush over it more in the review section, but yeah, just wanted to mention that because I feel like he's kind of under the radar. He's got like a slightly bigger channel, but for how good he is, he should have like a million subscribers easily. So yeah, go check that out because if you're here to watch this, you should really go to his channel because he's like the foremost authority figure on this universe when it comes to YouTube, and I'm just revisiting a movie I enjoy. That's basically why I'm here today. But yeah, as always, remember to blank, blank, and blank. We got a ton of subscribers last week, just a great week, more than doubled what we had, which is amazing. And I love the fact that the catalyst for that seems to be my revisit to The Thing. Like that movie took off like a rocket ship, and that is just so cool that it's that movie that did it because I love that movie and I felt like I gave a really really good reaction performance when I revisited that film. And yeah, I kept a ton in the edit. Like a lot of things just went really well, and it's nice that it actually paid off. It always makes me feel good when I can move the needle just a little bit. Even like a subscriber or two each week is great, and then I put out that and bam, we just double. That was awesome. Thanks so much for everybody that subscribed and gave likes and all that stuff because that was amazing. Thank you very much for that. And not going to prolong this too much. Let's just get right to the movie. You've got another iconic title card too. Nice. The model work on the ship was excellent too. Just great practical work. We got our distress signal incoming. I also love how the autopilot is just, a head or a helmet. Get our crew waking up from cryo sleep. Poor bastards have no idea what's in store for them. I also love the fact how they're just minors, and the fact that, they're in space doing it is almost, secondary. Because a society that has had the capacity to, travel through space is not going to constantly remind the audience about it every 20 seconds. It's just going to be, routine to them. I forget what that little game was we all played when we were kids, Bright Light or something like that, but that's what this looks like to me. I mean, it's a cool set. It's just that's what I think of when I see this place. Pulled out of hypersleep unexpectedly.
Contact traffic control.
Way too soon.
Intercepted a transmission of unknown origin. She got us up to check it out.
A transmission? Out here?
Yeah.
What kind of a transmission?
Acoustical beacon.
This is a commercial ship, not a rescue ship.
Right.
And it's not my contract to do this kind of duty.
But he's right, though. They're a commercial ship. They're not, a rescue team. It would make a lot more sense to wake them up and be like, hey, relay this information so these people or, whatever can get help. But instead they get pulled out and they're like, okay, you now go rescue them, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because they're not equipped to deal with that. Still holds up to this day. I mean, that's, a model, but still, it looks great. Yeah, they're not equipped for this kind of work, and even the landing has caused damage to the ship. Deciphering the signal. Get our first look at the derelict spacecraft. Here we have the first look at the astronomer and his telescope. I really wish they would have went with the original design for this species, like in all the, following films whenever it gets brought up, because it's just cooler, I think.
Roger been outward. Like he exploded from inside.
It looks like a warning. I'm gonna go out after them.
What's the point? By the time it takes to get there, they'll know if it's a warning or not, yes?
Oh, man. No sense of caution by Kane.
Wait a minute, there's movement.
If you're not gonna leave at this point...
Organic life.
Facehugger, right through the glass of his helmet. Into his throat.
What happened to Kane?
Something has attached itself to him. We have to get him to the infirmary right away.
What kind of thing? I need a clear definition.
An organism. Open the hatch.
Wait a minute. If we let it in, the ship could be infected. You know the quarantine procedure.
24 hours for decontamination.
It could die in 24 hours. Open the hatch.
Listen to me. If we break quarantine, we could all die.
Look, could you open the goddamn hatch? We have to get him inside.
Jesus Christ, these people suck.
No.
I can't do that, and if you were in my position, you'd do the same.
She's the only one thinking clearly.
Right now, do you hear me?
They all ignore her. So fucking stupid.
Play this in order. You hear me?
Yes. I read you. The answer is negative.
You have no idea what it is.
In the hatch open.
It could, breathe in oxygen and, breathe out some type of gas that's killing you all, and you just brought it on the ship. It immediately wraps tighter around his throat.
I wanted you guys freeze him. How come they don't freeze him?
That would be smart. That's probably why they're not doing it, because they're fucking stupid.
Even if it's against the law?
Fucking idiots.
It's tearing his skull. I know. He's not coming off without tearing his face off with it.
Yeah, it's not gonna let go voluntarily.
Just cut it off and,
You take the responsibility.
Yes, I'll take the responsibility. Get him out of it.
Ash doing everything he can to, try and preserve it. I love this scene. Acid for blood. It ate through more than 2 decks of their fucking ship. Just a little splash of that shit.
Don't say anything like that except, molecular acid.
It's got a wonderful defense mechanism. You don't dare kill it.
That's a great line. Ash making sure his new friend is perfectly well taken care of.
Well, it's an interesting combination of elements making him a
Tough little son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And you let him in.
Yeah.
By breaking quarantine, you risk everybody's life.
Maybe I should have left him outside.
You should have. Yeah, Ripley knows something's up.
Dallas?
Finished impregnating him.
That's the line. That's a reflex action.
The practical work is great here.
Well, good. Let's get rid of it. This thing bled acid. Who knows what it's gonna do when it's dead?
She's right again. Everybody's so quick to disagree with her, even though she's been right every step of the way. This movie is also a classic tale of, corporate greed being the downfall of everyone else. Callous disregard for the lives of others. If they think, it could potentially make them more profit. Lulls you into a false sense of hope. Like, oh, he's awake, he's okay now. Just waiting for it. Yeah, Ash looking close at him. I think he's having a seizure.
Oh, God!
Yep. Ash immediately steps in to protect his friend. I saw an image on Reddit of a test screening of this scene before it was to premiere, and just all the looks on all the faces of the people was amazing. Most of them were horrified and disgusted. One or two guys were smiling and laughing about it. Gestation period is over. We have our xenomorph 10 months out from Earth, alone on a ship with a hostile alien life form. Perfect horror setting.
Wait, don't let him go!
Had to bag it, man. Now we might pick it up on the track again. Go and get it, man.
Splitting up is never a good idea. Shed its skin. It's the molting process. Period of rapid growth. He should be trying to get back to the others right now. Hey, I found its skin. It might be in this room. This place looks like a torture chamber. There a boy is hanging.
This son of a bitch is huge. I mean, it's like a man.
Kane's son. Shutting off this section here one by one makes sense, but then you actually look at the layout of the thing and look how there's multiple avenues where he could be attacked from multiple directions. He should immediately put his back to a wall. Tension building as the beeping gets closer.
Gotta be around there somewhere.
Little slime from it.
I want to get the hell out of here.
Oh, God, it's moving right towards you. No, not that way, the other way, God!
What would you like me to do?
Just what you've been doing, Ash.
Nothing.
Nothing. I've got access to Mother now, and I'll get my own answers.
Crew expendable.
Parker. Lambert?
He cut her off. Ugh, the milk. Jeez. Jesus Christ. Never saw the Ash reveal coming. I knew something was up with him, but did not see that.
All I can think of is they must have wanted the alien for the weapons division. He's been protecting it right along.
Yep. Great effects.
How do we kill it, Ash? There's gotta be a way of killing it. How? How do we do it?
You can't. You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? Perfect organism. Its structural perfection is matched only by its hostility.
You admire it.
I admire its purity, unclouded by conscience, remorse, or delusions of morality.
It's fucking dark. Damn right.
You two go down, get all the coolant you can carry. I'll get the shuttle ready.
I know there are practical reasons why you need to split up, but you know, if you're really going to do it, I think somebody should say in the scene we shouldn't split up and just have them explain we have no choice. We have to split up because we're not going to have time otherwise. It's implied, but I just hate in all the horror movies that I've watched over the years where they split up and it's just like, come on guys, can't you think of a different way to do this? Minor gripe. Great film. Great acting. Oh man, this is the most frustrating part of this movie. Parker's been reasonable, he's been useful the entire film. Lambert's fear is about to get the both of them killed. It sucks seeing it every time, man. I will also credit the film for using original screams. She's got to trigger this nuclear reactor while being terrified out of her mind. Her hands are barely working correctly. You see the beginnings of a nest. So something I actually learned by watching Alien Theory, if you take a drone and it's completely on its own, it will have some sort of process where it can turn into a queen just by genetic necessity. Had this thing been given enough time, it eventually would have turned into a queen to lay eggs and create more face huggers and then create more drones and actually turn this entire ship into a nest. So even one drone, like, it's a bigger threat than you would think. It's a great scene. Whew. Her face says it all. She just like slinks away from it. Primal fear. It's just so cool. It's such a great atmosphere. Adios, Nostromo.
2, 1.
Great visuals. Again, it just lulls you into a false sense of victory. And here we go. Costume work is amazing. Ugh, look at it. Ugh, even now, still trying to get back in. Oh, so satisfying.
Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo. Signing off.
Okay, took some time to gather my thoughts. Fantastic film, you know, one of the all-time greats. Sigourney Weaver's, you know, portrayal as Ripley here is just iconic. This is like the role that made her, and revisiting it now, you know, 45 years later, still so good, still holds up. I love the cosmetic work, the costume, especially on the actual design of the alien. You know, taking H.R. Geiger's biomechanical art and then transforming it into this movie is, you know, breathtaking. It still looks good even now. I love the model work with the ship. It still holds up. You know, so many great aspects of this film. Ridley Scott, terrific director, just an amazing job here. The use of lighting, I mean, everything, every little aspect in this is done like so artfully and just great. You know, certain scenes you go to right off the bat. I mean, the chest burster scene, so good. The way it lulls you into that, you know, false sense of hope, like, oh, things are getting a little bit better, and then it just hits you with it, and then, man, it's one of those scenes that gets talked about over and over and over again. It's just so iconic. Early on, you're frustrated by a lot of the decisions that get made it seems in a lot of ways like Ripley is the only one actually thinking things through before acting. And yeah, that's a frustrating aspect of the movie to deal with over and over again because Ripley continues to make the most sense out of any of them. And then it's probably, Parker next, and they get ignored almost throughout the entire movie. They just get ignored. And if they had just, listened to Ripley, none of this would have happened. But yeah, it's a great little story about, in a lot of ways, corporate greed. They get sent on this rescue mission that they have no business whatsoever doing. They're just this little mining operation, a commercial ship. And okay, you want to wake them up because there's a distress signal. Okay, that's okay at that point. But have them relay the information to someone else if at all possible, and then have someone else that is actually trained to actually go and perform a rescue mission because they land on this little rock and right away their ship takes massive damage and they need at least like 24 hours to repair the thing. Just not at all ready for what they're about to encounter. Kane just runs headlong into a facehugger. I mean, you would think there would be a little bit of caution, but no, he just goes for it. There's a lot of aspects of the film that are frustrating. The splitting up, which again, I get that there are key moments in stories where that is necessary, but you gotta. I would have someone, say, "Why are we splitting up? That's a terrible idea," and then have another person say, "Look, we don't have a choice here. I know it's not ideal or something like that." Just how I would do it in a film if it were, my choice, because it's just a very annoying trope where you see the people split apart and then just get, taken out one by one, and it happens over and over again. But just a small little gripe of mine. Seen it in a ton of movies, and there's ways to avoid it, I think. Yeah, overall, just a fantastic film. I still contend that The Thing by John Carpenter is the better overall sci-fi horror movie, but this is quite good, quite excellent. And again, if you're someone who's, fanatical about the Alien universe, again, I can't recommend enough Alien Theory on YouTube. If you give that channel a shot, just watch a video or two, you will absolutely love it. He has this series with dozens of different videos where he narrates a self-contained story within the comic, and it's just great. Like, there's dozens, if not hundreds of them up on his channel, and it's so good. It's so good. I consider him the foremost authority on this universe just because he's invested so much time and energy into, revisiting all the different little aspects. And when I say all the different little aspects, I mean all the movies, the different cuts of the films, the interviews about it, and he recently has a video up on a review and then a spoiler review of Alien Romulus, which I hear is good, but I have avoided seeing it because I would like to wait for it to actually come out on a streaming service so I can get it up on the channel. I hear it's great, but I have not seen it yet, so yeah, we're holding off as long as we can, and hopefully, at some point get that up as, a reaction. But, I have revisited Alien, so there's no reason not to revisit Aliens. And if I'm going to revisit Aliens, there's no reason not to revisit Alien 3, because I actually really enjoy that film. I know that's somewhat of a controversial take, but, I'm someone that would march into hell for Charles S. Dutton, especially after his performance as Dylan. So yeah, that's going to happen eventually. Keep an eye out for that one. But just a great franchise. This is the start, and it's a terrific film. I definitely prefer action over horror, but if you got to do a horror film with me, make it done well, and I'll enjoy it. And this is, a horror film done well. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. As always, thanks for watching, and peace.